Hello class! Today we're looking at 7-2, surface areas of prisms and cylinders on page 256. Our objective for today's lesson is to find the surface areas of prisms and cylinders using nets. So we'll need to know what net and surface area vocabulary means. So why we need to learn this. When you wrap a birthday gift or cover a textbook, you are working with a surface area. Surface area tells you how much material you will need to cover something. You can use a net to solve surface area problems. A net is a two-dimensional pattern that you can fold to form a three-dimensional figure. You can use nets to design boxes. Okay, so that's a net. You can draw many different nets for a three-dimensional figure. So I have put together a video. I'm going to try to insert it right here. Hope it works. Hi class. So I wanted to try to give you a visual as we're talking about surface area. This is a box that I wrapped in wrapping paper. The wrapping paper had these squares on it. There's a similar example in your book, but I thought this might be a little bit more understandable to be able to actually see it in more of a video than just on your paper. So first thing we need to do is we need to realize how many sides there are, because each of these sides had to be covered in paper. So we have a top, we have a bottom, that's two. This is the front. So if this is the front here, this other side is going to be the back. And so that took care of these. So that's the top, front, bottom, back. Then we have one side and two sides. So if we add all those together, right? Top 1, front 2, bottom 3, back 4, side 1, 5, side 2, 6. So 6 sides have to be covered. And then we can use these squares to realize how much is needed to cover this. So this particular one, you could just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Or we could go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 times 7 equals 28. Okay, so we do realize that if this side is 28, right, and this is the same size as the bottom should also be 28. Let's double check. So this one is not as clear because really this one has some flop over here and it's coming here. It's not exact, but we're going to go with this one and this one together equals 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 times 7 is 28. The side here, 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 times 7 is 21. 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 times 7 is 21. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So then if we take all of these and add them up, we will be able to come up with the surface area. So 12 plus 12 is 24, plus 21 is going to be 65, plus another 21. Here, let's write it at the top. So we have 28 on top plus 28 on the bottom plus 21 on the front, 21 on the back, 12 on the side 1, and 12 on side 2. Okay, so I was going like this. Those two together are 24. 24 plus 21 is going to be 45. Plus another 21 is going to be 66. Let's add these two together. 8 plus 8 is 16. 56. 56 plus 66. 122 inches squared. I hope that made sense. Please disregard my one addition error. Okay, so what happened here in this demonstration is that they took what I did and unfolded it so that it broke apart each side, help giving you a little bit more of a visual. So now an example, drawing a net. Draw a net for the triangular prism at the right. So first, begin by labeling the base and the faces. So that's what I did when I did it in the video. The front, the back, the top, the sides. So first, draw one base. Then draw one face that connects both bases. Draw the other base. Draw the remaining faces. Draw a dimfrit net for the right triangular prism in example 1. So this is just asking us to draw this same triangular prism, but make it so that they have connecting sides in different places. Go ahead, press pause, try an example yourself, and then come back and see if yours looks anything like mine. Okay, so I'm going to draw one base, the left, and then the other base. Then I'm going to connect the right to this base and the back to that base. So it's the same thing, just split apart differently. The next vocabulary we're looking at is surface area. The surface area of a prism is the sum, another word for sum is addition, of the area of its faces. You measure surface area of a prism in square units. You can find the surface area by finding the area of its net. So, looking at this example, finding the surface area of a prism. Find the surface area of a triangular prism. First, draw a net for the prism. So here's the prism. So we look, here's the top. Down below it is going to be the bottom. Then we have the right, the left, and the back. And so when we split it all apart, it looks something like this. And then they've given us the measurements for each of those. So then find the total area of the 5 faces. So this left side is 4 centimeters by 9 centimeters. So 4 times 9 is going to be equal to 36 plus the back. The back is 12 is the length here. And it doesn't tell us this size right here, but we realize that it's the same size as this right here, so we know that it's 4. 4 times 12 is 48, plus the right side is going to be 15 centimeters times 4. 15 times 4 is going to be 60. Plus, now we've got to do the top and the bottom, but they are triangles. So we remember that when we're finding the area of the triangle, it's the height times the length. So height times the length times 1/2, or divided by 2. And same thing for both of those. So we end up having 9 times 12 divided by 2, which equals 54. So we have 54 here, 54 here. When we add them all together, 252 is our answer. So therefore, the surface area is 252 centimeters squared. Sorry, I kind of wrote right through that. Okay, go ahead and see if you can figure out how to find the surface area of the rectangular prism for number 2. Press pause, do some work, come back to me. Okay, so this was the figure I came up with. Sorry, it's not fabulous. So what I did is I took the top. I did the top. Ooh, I do not want it that color. Did the top. Then the front, the bottom, and the back. And then side 1, side 2. So I realize I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers that I'm adding together. So this side right here is 5 times 16. 5 times 16 equals 80. So the first one I'm going to have is 80. And really, right, I know if this one's 80, this one's also 80. They're the same size. So I'm going to add another 80. And then I'm going to look at the next ones. So this one is not as clearly identified, although this 4 here is the same size as that one. So we know that's 4 times 16. The length is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So this one's 64 and this one is 64. Plus 64 plus 64. And our last one is 4 by 5. 4 times 5 is 20. That's for that one. This one's the same size. Plus 20 plus 20. And when we add all those numbers up, 80 plus 80 plus 64 plus 64 plus 20 plus 20, we are going to get 328 feet squared. And that is our answer. So if you cut a label from a can, you will see the label is a rectangle. This shape right here is a rectangle. The height of the rectangle is about the height of the can. The base length of the rectangle is the circumference of the can. Similarly, if you cut up a cylinder, you get a rectangle and 2 circles. You can use a net of a cylinder to find its surface area. So this breaks down how to find the surface area of a cylinder. Crafts. You plan to make a birthday present for your friend. The first step is to cover a coffee can with construction paper. How much construction paper do you need? So this is just taking a cylinder and breaking it apart. So first step, draw a net. Right, so we break it apart. Find the area of one circle. This we should have memorized from last time. If not, be sure to write it down. Area equals pi r squared. R squared means you're just multiplying the number of the radius times itself. And pi, we know that you can use as the button on the calculator or multiply it by 3.14. Pi equals 3.14. Okay, so we plug that into the equation and we get 78.54. Now we have to find the area of the rectangle. We see that it is 14 by 10. So the area of a rectangle, all you have to do is multiply the height times the width. So that equals 140. And then, because it is in the cylinder form, we are going to multiply that by pi. So we get 439.82. Add the area of the 2 circles and the rectangle. So the surface area equals 78. And see, we got 78, but we know that there is 78 on the top and 78 on the bottom. So 78 plus 78 plus 439.82. So we get 596.9. And that is going to be centimeters squared because it is area. Anytime we're dealing with area, we have the whatever the measurement is squared. So go ahead and try this next one on your own. Press pause and come back to me after you have an answer. Okay, so hopefully you've come up with your answer. I'm going to walk through it with you. What is the surface area of the cylinder at the right? Round to the nearest tenth. So our circle is going to be to find the area of the circle, this one and this one, there are 2. We need the radius. This shows the diameter. That's the whole length. The radius is going to be half of that. So half of 20 is 10. So therefore I came up with this right here. Area equals pi times 10 squared. 10 times 10 is 100, times 3.14 is going to equal 314. So we remember that there's two of them. So we're going to have 314 plus 314. Now to find the rectangle. So that is going to be the height times the width, and then multiply it by pi because it is in a cylinder. So I came up with this equation here, and when we do 20 times 45, we get 900 times 3.14. And that's going to equal 2,826. If you used the pi button on your calculator, you may come up with a slightly different number, and that's okay. So using the 3.14 is going to equal 3,454 meters squared. If you used the pi button, you'll probably have come up with something closer to 3,455.8 meters squared. Either one is fine. So checking our understanding, the blank of a prism is the sum of the area of its faces. What are we talking about in this lesson? This lesson we are talking about surface area. Surface area. What kind of polygon is included in both a net of triangular prisms and a net of rectangular prisms? Well, this could be that the net of triangular prism consists of 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. The net of a rectangular prism consists of 6 rectangles. Okay, so if you are looking at examples that we have already done, if you refer back to page 256, you'll see both examples of a triangular prism and a rectangular prism. They both have 6 sides. Okay, so for your homework, please do number 3 through 14.